I get one strawberry jelly. I'm just egg McMuffin. Woo! Sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin. Man. Bussin'. And you said PS5, man. They announced it.
Man, yeah, that PS5, bro. I don't know what to say, man, because I know how I am and the way I'm set up.
Missing work.
If I had that PS5 at the house, man, a lot of things would get shut down.
Same here, bro.
Yeah, it really, I can get so in tune to that joint, man. Hours go by, I don't eat. I just be so in tune with it.
It's amazing, man. How something like that can get you.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be great, you know, in the beginning of the quarantine to have something like that to keep you occupied because, you know, the walls can start coming down on you sitting in the house all day. But I am intrigued though. I looked at it last night after we had a conversation about what we was gonna talk about a little bit, but you know, I was impressed by the specs on it. You know, I went on YouTube and looked at it a little bit, man. To see how the electronics has advanced, and to know that a console like that is more advanced than your average new laptop. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, like it's equipped with things that the laptop don't even have yet. You know, and so. To see how the graphics have, you know, evolved from when the console first came out to now, it's amazing, man. Because like some of the games that they showed on YouTube, it's like actually watching a movie, right? You know, and I can see myself getting way out there on that for a while. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
what's your favorite type of game?
I'm a sports guy, like. I mean, I'll play other games, but I'm more of like a Madden and, you know, the 2K and stuff like that, you know. But I did get into a little bit of the, like, I want to say Call of Duty. I think back then it was something John. I don't know if it was John, but it was more or less like one of those shooting games.
I'm a racing game guy, man. I love racing games.
I love racing games
and adventure games.
Yeah.
Where you got to go through different levels. But racing is my joint, yo.
With the graphics, I can only imagine what an adventure game like that would be.
Like a Tomb Raider or.
But yeah, I'm more of a sports guy. I like the Madden and the basketball and track and field and things like that. But I do get into the adventure games.
Pre-COVID, man, would you say get one for the barbershop?
Well,
have you ever had a game system in the barbershop and let people use it, play it?
I wouldn't say I've worked in a shop, but I think when the consoles first came out, I was going to a shop that had, you know, I think it was like the Nintendo or something like that back in the day. But now with the whole COVID situation, we can't even have people sitting around. So I don't know. Maybe with if we go to phase 3 next week. I mean, I know the numbers are spiking, and the numbers were spiking when we went on phase 2.
Right. Here we go. We'll see.
Close. So they still, because they based it on how many people can actually be in a bed at the hospital. Right. So it's not even really how many people got it. It's just how many people can be.
The
capacity for the hospital. So, you know, coming out on phase 2, the numbers were still like it is now. It's still alarming. It was still spiking, but it still went, what is it, 2.5 or whatever it was. Instead of a whole phase 2, they went to 2.5 or whatever they called it. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to see if they're going to, I mean, and I think, I don't know if it's based on how many emails and phone calls he get to say, hey, we need to get off, because I mean, you know, this is a time where it's going to be 4th of July, so, you know, it's either you let them off or they just going to violate anyway, you know. True. Just like with now, we're supposed to have masks, but it's not. It says mandatory, but it's no consequence if you don't have it. So people just still not gonna wear it.
Yep. Hold on right quick. And speaking of PS5, we got a visitor.
Yeah, Mr. G's in the building.
Come on over this way. Come on in the middle. Come on in the middle.
Mr. G is in the building. What you need to know, your boy's right here. It looks like an Alienware mixed with a router that have a white folder, and you close it, and there you have it, the PS5. Now, a lot of people have been memes about it, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the specs. Now, we're gonna have a 2 different versions of the PS5. We got the digital one, and then we have the one with the disc. Now, for those of you who loves to do the old-fashioned with the DVD and all the other stuff with watching movies with your babe and all that stuff, oh, I got the DVD, I can bring it over, all that stuff, get the disc, okay? Just get the disc. And if you want to put music in it, get the disc, okay? Instead of like people who don't like the streaming, get the disc. And also, you still want to trade your games and stuff to get a discount from GameStop or all that crap, get the disc. That's all I'll do. Get a disc. Now, for those who don't want to keep collecting all the dusting and kill all the discs and all that stuff, that you still have to buy $60, and you have to bring it home, and you got to wait through stupid line for the release dates of new games, get the digital. Because if you want the disc, the discless one, and you want to get the release earlier games, and you get the latest one, this is it for you.
Sales predictions for holiday 2020. What you think? PS5.
Well, right now, rumor has it was supposed to be in early October. But then everybody said, no, it's a holiday. So most likely, it's going to be the same thing like November release from the PS4 when Xbox One first came out. So that's what everybody's going for that round. Now, the price range. Everybody talking about the price range. We already know. What did you predict at first, sir?
600.
600, sir?
800.
Well, this is what is going on right now of the original price that everybody's spraying on this week. It's not truly canon, but rumor has it PS4 with disc, $499.
Wow.
PS, yeah, $499. PS5 without the disc,
$449.
$399.
$399.
Wow.
$399. Just like the dang old PS4, right? So Sony is playing it smart, but also try to give the fans what they want in specs. Now, the good thing about this specs of the PS5 is the speed loading.
Yeah, so that was 180 times faster.
Yes, that is very accurate. You say, sir. Thank you for doing that research, because I didn't see. I didn't see that. You're good. That was good.
And TC, what's your favorite games, man, on the PlayStation, man?
My favorite games? Oh my goodness, man.
Are you a sports guy or adventure guy?
Well, I'm more of a, all of the above, but I play some games, but I'm more of a fighter gamer. Play Tekken all time. Hey, Reggie, you saw me. Tekken will be some of your clients, your coworkers' ass. Don't get me wrong, one of your coworkers put my ass in law. We already know. We already know. Okay, you got your one, okay? But don't worry, I'll wait for you, man. I'm ready for it. Let's go. I'm here. I'm still coming here. The only thing I do, I have to wait for you to come over here. But other than that, mostly sometimes sports games for 2K,
I'm a sports guy.
You're a sports guy?
You're Madden
And y'all, quickly, man, while we got TC here before he get a haircut, we want to shout out Exotics Products for sending us these products right here. Let's get a zoom in on this right here.
It's so saucy.
So we got the shave therapy alongside with the shave gel.
Ooh.
These two together make a great shaving experience.
Wow, this is
We have the blue water, which is a great wake up astringent facial spray. I like to spray this on after you do the shave.
Oh, okay.
Nice little skin toner. He even came out with some hand sanitizer spray. What I like about his, it don't smell like rubbing. It don't smell like corn liquor.
Right.
He actually uses real rubbing alcohol.
Oh, snap.
And he got
Okay,
a
we got something here. We got something here.
Tea tree and eucalyptus. And this is his most popular product. This is the first
Sweet
product,
Jamila.
Sweet Jamila. This is a shea glaze for your hair and your body. It gives it a great shine and moisturize it. And on a molecular level, it actually absorbs into the skin. That's what I should say. Yep.
No side effects.
No side effects.
No serving none of that.
Kurt make his products so that they're actually non-toxic to the body.
Oh, so it's like organic.
Yeah, organic.
Yes.
You can actually eat this stuff and it won't harm you. It won't taste good.
I won't try to
It
do
won't
that.
taste good, but
What you trying to
it
say? You
won't
think
harm
I eat anything, sir?
That's what I heard.
No, that's not true, sir. That's not true, sir. Don't believe that lie. That's a false, that's a fake news. I'm going for the Trump route. That's fake news.
Aunt, man, you had a fun time this week, man, with some kids, man. You had quite a few kid clients this week, man. Talk to us about your kid client experiences, man, this week, man.
You know, kids can be very, very
Challenging.
or entertaining, should I say. You know, you got your good clients, the good kids that sit, they don't need no guidance. They just
What's
sit
the
there.
percentage of those? 10?
Maybe 10. And then you have your ones that are not used to being in a barbershop environment. And I had one particular kid over the week that was very, very challenging. I couldn't hold him, the dad couldn't hold him, and all three of us couldn't hold him.
All right.
We got it done, but sometimes we look at little kids like that and they so small that we underestimate the power that they have because it took 3 people to complete the haircut. So, like, you know, it's very interesting. I guess, you know, I look at kids as they keep you on your toes, they keep you on your game. Because you never know what to expect. One moment they could be fine, and the next moment they could not be fine. So it just, from years of cutting, kids has very well been very entertaining. And but I guess, you know, most of it overall is just everything stems from home, you know, and I always tell parents when you about to bring your kids to start getting them cut, you know, get them familiar with the vibrations or the sounds and different things like that. If it means just going and buy a cheap pair of like $10 clippers, it don't necessarily have to be a brand, but just something so they can be used to that sound, used to the vibration. So when they do get into the barbershop, it's not something strange to them where it startles them and makes them act a certain way because they're used to it, you know. So it's all about familiarity and getting them used to the sounds. Because you gotta understand, sometimes for kids, those sounds are, for us, it's something that we hear on a regular basis or we're used to or accustomed to, should I say. Kids, everything is new to them. So when you put them in a situation of a new sound or a new vibration, or it makes them respond because they don't know what to expect. Right. They don't know if you're about to kill them or not. So they don't know. So that's why I say it all stems from home. So I encourage parents when they're approaching the age of getting their haircut, start getting them familiar with the sounds and the vibrations. So it's not something alarming.
Man, you're really familiar with this side. You're not a parent yet that has to take kids to get their haircut.
Right.
But tell me, man, do you think there should be a discount for kids? Considering knowing what you know from your perspective.
You know, for me, I actually think it should be an increase. Because, I mean, and I'm not saying that because I'm picking on kids. I'm just saying because you never know what to expect. And when it takes more to achieve the goal, meaning it takes more people to achieve that goal of cutting hair.
Right.
Like, that means you have to stop what you're doing. Another person has to stop what they're doing to come help. So that's 3 people, 3 barbers on one head. And until the child is accustomed to getting a haircut and you can achieve it with just the least amount of effort, I just think, like, it don't have to necessarily be like a crazy difference amount between a regular adult haircut but it should be, if it's not an increase, it should be at least all parents should tip. because
Right.
it takes a lot of work to cut kids.
Right. What you're saying is, I don't disagree with it, man. For here, we don't have a discount for kids.
Right.
I would say though, the only way I would consider a discount is if the expectations were low.
Right.
But when most parents come in with pictures, they showing you a kid, they got color enhancements on the hair with the straightest line, and they don't show the video. We only see the picture, and the picture, that kid might be one of those kids that really sit still.
Right.
For the line to look that good and to be so dark and enhanced, most likely the kid sat still.
Right.
And I don't think it's fair to us for parents to have those expectations on us to deliver that same type of quality of that product to their kid who don't know how to sit still.
Right. And it's not, and I'm glad you brought that up. I want to piggyback on that because, and not only just with kids, it's just in general, we have that same expectation too. And meaning that over the week I had a female client that brought the same thing, brought the pictures, and I, executed the haircut. And because there are a difference when you're genetically different, it's meaning your grade of hair, your texture, your color, all those things plays a factor when you're getting a haircut. Because if you bring a picture, you're one, say you're a light skin, right? But you bring me a picture of a dark skinned person with thick hair, and your hair is thin. So the same way that I would execute on that one particular person versus the way I would execute on you is gonna be totally different. And the outcome is gonna be different. It's gonna be the same cut, but the overall appearance of the cut is gonna look different because you're different. And everybody's not the same. The hair texture is not the same. So if you bring me something of an afro and say for instance, you're bald on top, but you bring me a picture of an afro and you want to achieve that look, it's impossible. I mean, I'm gonna execute it to the best of my ability. So to go back to say what I was saying about the young lady, I executed the cut very well, but they wasn't pleased because it didn't look like the picture. But you brought me a different initiative than what, you may be. You know what I'm saying? And the hair texture is different. So like Reggie said, a lot of these pictures got enhancements where these people have dyed the hair, but you don't see that. You just see the picture of a haircut, and you're like, I want that.
The picture that she had a woman that had color enhancements,
Right.
and it was Photoshop.
Right.
So I can't make a haircut look Photoshop. First off, I
Unless
can
you're
put
willing
enhancements on it.
Unless you're willing to pay for those extras.
I can put enhancements on it.
Right.
Well, I can't make it look Photoshop.
I think Reggie was talking to an individual over the week, and they wanted a haircut. But they wanted to know, matter of fact, it was a child, but wanted to know if we could do it for 15, just to put a number on it. And it's like, at that moment, they don't understand. And it's like, okay, do we put a price tag on our sales? Meaning, we got to come to a barbershop and very well be subject to catch the COVID-19. So are you willing to, change your price significantly to accommodate that person for $15? And then you don't know what to expect from that child.
Especially a child reaction.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't know how they're gonna respond. So are you willing to now decrease your price to cut that child, and then not to know if he or she gonna cut up? Is it gonna take extreme measures to get the haircut done? Am I gonna have to go over my time limit? Because most haircuts is 45 minutes to an hour. Is it gonna take me an hour and 15 minutes to cut his hair? So it's a lot of things that come into factor when you're talking about pricing, and it's just what you're saying. Like, people want to expect to get more, but pay less. So I totally get it, and it's just like people have to understand this new norm comes with a price tag. Because it takes so much to achieve a haircut. We gotta pay for equipment to check temperature. We gotta constantly have enough soap for you to wash your hands, paper towels, and then the chemical agents that we use to sterilize our instruments to make sure that we're not cross contamination to other people. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say, oh yeah, I do it for 15, no problem. So I just think people need to understand this new norm and the magnitude, because what if I didn't sterilize? What if I didn't and I accepted that 15
Putting barbers out there like that
and then your child gets sick? Now, was it worth the 15?
Or you get me sick.
Right.
Definitely not worth the 15.
That was the whole purpose. Is like, do you put a price value on yourself, knowing that you wake up in the morning, got to come here every day and potentially put yourself in danger? Because it's like we talked about last week on the video, we're fighting something that we can't see.
Exactly.
So how do we not know this countertop has the COVID? How do we not know that this guard that I laid down now is affected with the COVID? So it's just like, it's so many things that plays a factor. And for someone to downplay the situation and say, a low ball, let's do it, can you do it for 15? So it just,
It's a risk taking.
it's a risk-taking situation. It's always going to be a catch-22 now.
I know we was talking about this COVID situation, man. Did y'all see what happened in NASCAR the other day with the noose bin?
With your boy with the noose.
I'm sorry, please recap that. What's going on about that, sir?
They found two new, what appeared to be a noose. And what's his
in a
name?
black driver's stall. Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace.
It's in his garage.
And they found
I'm afraid, man. Like,
they found one in another guy's car.
I don't want to jump to conclusions.
I don't know.
This is what I'm gonna say. To get where they were, you had to have a lot of clearance. These are $1 million cars now. Anybody can't just get to it. You know, you got there's levels of clearance to get to these places. I hope and I pray that it wasn't staged.
And I you know, it's funny you say that, because I really believe that, because you don't go from 1 week to having a Black Lives Matter car to having a noose hanging in your car, in your garage. So I could very well see that being someone doing something like that to, you know, try to take him out the game, because we talking about a penalty with that. It's not even you paying a financial or monetary fee, because the result of this means you can't be in this sport ever again.
Right.
So I can see that, you know, something to this magnitude, you know, we got a guy I can't beat, so the only way I can get him out, I go stage this and I take him all the way out.
Whoever did it don't care about getting caught. All the cameras they got in there. So we'll see what's happening, man. I just, ooh.
We're gonna see who you think, man. Just be
It was
careful.
beautiful to see what happened afterwards. All the drivers and the pit crew.
Richard
walking
Petty and all
behind
them.
my boy Richard Petty came out. Woo! That's my guy.
That really showed a lot of character. And your boy LeBron shot him out, so you know, that was a lot of character.
Yeah, that was beautiful to see.
Yeah.
Them coming out to support him.
There's nothing wrong with
Walking
that.
behind him. Did you see them flying the Confederate flag over in the race?
Yeah.
TC, how can they find you on Instagram or on YouTube, bro?
You can check it out on YouTube. It's called I Am Mr. G. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all.
How you say that again?
I_am_, you space it and you period Mr. G.
Nice.
Okay? Okay, you put Mr. and space and Mr. G with a period. So I am Mr. G. But don't worry, I'll definitely check the link down there. But also please subscribe to my boy channel, man. This is amazing barber and his workers, man. They're amazing people. They take their time, they listen, they're patient, especially patient with the kids. I mean, this is the place that you should come to. Reggie Barber Shop. Y'all just talking about one. But yeah, check them out. And also, please subscribe to the channel. No joke. Like this video. What are you doing? Like this video. Come on now, don't do that.
Exactly.
Boy, going to Atlanta.
I feel so sexy. Oh, Your Honor, look at me. I'm ready to march. Oh, one more thing. Which one you definitely go to get? PS5 or Series X? Please leave a comment as well.